started. Okay, so now what we have to do, we have to configure one domain controller or one Active Directory server for our infra. Why? Because Active Directory server is responsible to manage the user accounts or computer accounts in the environment, right? So for the same, what I'm going to do here in this VMware workstation, if you do not have that software, I will share you the link to download that software. You will get that particular software at free of cost for 45 days or 60 days. I'm not sure. Like for me, I got license of this one, right? But for you guys, I will share a link. You can download it. Okay. So what you just have to download it and you can install it, and after that you will get the same window. If anyone found an issue, just ping me. I will guide you how to create the virtual machines. Okay. So just forget about this, the virtual machines what I have created earlier, right? So now I'm going to create one domain controller. So for the same, what we have to do, we have to go to the file, new virtual machine, and typical is fine. Now I will select this. I will install operating system later on. Now we have to select the operating system. What operating system we are going to deploy? So you can see Linux, VMware, and Microsoft multiple flavors are there, right? So we have to select Microsoft Windows. And in Windows, we are going to deploy Windows Server 2019, right? So I'm selecting this one. Click on next. Now you have to name the virtual machine. So let's name it like domain controller. So this is just a name, and that name will be visible to you guys on that left hand section. Okay. Click on next. Now it is asking like how much uh, disk or drive you need to allocate to that particular server. So for testing, 60 GB is fine, right? So if you want to modify, you can make it 100 GB, you can make it 200 GB as per the requirement. Okay. So for now, 60 GB is fine. Click on next. Now, as you can see, the description, just click on customize hardware. And from here, what we have to do, we have to mount the installation media, means that is the ISO media for Windows Server 2019 operating system. So I'm going to use one ISO file here. I have to click on browse, and I have already downloaded that particular ISO file. So I will share that ISO file with you guys. So which I where it is, okay, this is the ISO media from which I am going to boot this particular virtual machine. So let me open it, and we are good. Let's close this and finish it. So in the meantime, as you can see, we are getting one virtual machine here, right? Right now it is in powered off state. So now what I have to do, I have to power on this virtual machine, and as it is booting from media, so I have booted it up. Just click on enter. And now what actually I'm doing, I'm just creating one server. Okay. And to create that server, I booted this particular machine with the ISO media, and that ISO media you can get the ISO media from VMware, sorry, not from VMware, from Microsoft uh, official website. I will share the link to you guys, and for 180 days it will be free, means you can utilize it, you can test, you can perform the operations for 180 days at free of cost. Okay. So okay, now at this point just let me know if like any one of you have reinstalled the Windows operating system on your laptop or on your personal desktop. Anyone did? Like if you have to format your laptop, right? What you have to do? Anyone? Any idea, guys?
No mind.
Okay, so just suppose if you are having your personal laptop with you, right? And if your Windows crashed, right? In that case, what you guys doing means you are taking help from someone else or you are reformatting your laptop with your own only?
We'll first try rebooting or formatting, then we'll take
Yeah,
someone's
so yeah,
help.
yes, yes. So that's what I'm asking. How means you formatting this means what steps you guys are following means. If anyone did, that is completely fine. If not, no issue. Okay, so
Just
let
go to
yeah,
screen
yeah.
and we'll
Uh, Please come again.
we'll just go to Windows screen and we'll restart or reboot that.
Okay, so just suppose you have got one fresh hardware or laptop or desktop, whatever means. In my words, it's hardware only. Okay, it could be a laptop, desktop, or server, right? So just suppose you have got one fresh hardware with nothing loaded in it, right? In that case, what you need, just suppose you have to install some operating system in that server, right? So for the same, what you have to do, you have to mount some ISO media or you can use some USB drive or DVD drive in which operating system will be there. You have to mount to that server, right? So like in earlier stage when there was no ISO files was there, what we used to do, we used to boot up the machine with a USB drive or pen drive or with the CD DVD, whatever is available, right? But now we are having that option to boot any server with ISO media or particular virtual disk. Okay, so that's what I mounted that particular. If you if I go to into here settings now, you will get I have mounted this ISO media, right? So now it is asking like for few selections like language to install, time and currency and keyboard input method. So default is fine like English, US and US. Okay, click on next. Now what we have to do, we have to install the server, right? So click on install now. It will take a while and you can see now it is asking like which version do you want to install. So we are going to install standard with desktop experience. Why? Because if I select the first one now, so you will get your operating system in CLI mode only, means with command line only. You will never get any desktop or documents or downloads over there, right? So you have to operate that particular system in CLI mode, means you will get one command prompt screen over there, right? So we are not the scientist right now. Okay, so we need some desktop experience, like we can click here and there, right? So I'm selecting this one, and data center is for the virtualization perspective. So right now as we are configuring the domain controller only now, so this standard will be fine, right? So now as you can see, uh, some terms and license kind of thing, accept it, it is from Microsoft only. So if you want to read, you can read, but it is not going to take my property if I accept this, right? So what is going on? Hello. Okay, let me click on next. Now click on custom. This is our virtual drive. What we allocated to this server is 16 GB. Simply click on next. It will automatically create the partition and our installation begins, right? So now this installation will take some time to copy the files from ISO media. So this is a very basic step that I'm explaining to you guys. Okay, and right now we are just I'm explaining you how to install the operating system. Okay, Anyone? Any question? Anything? You can ask because it will take some time as right now it is on 1% only. Okay. Please,
Yes,
guys,
what?
I can understand like, you are the freshers, no issue, right? But please do not hesitate while asking the questions. If you have anything in your mind, you can ask.
Might have one doubt.
Yeah, please.
What is that ISO file?
So ISO file is nothing. Look, if you have to boot your server now, you will get two options. Either you can boot from DVD drive, or either you can boot from like ISO file or pen drive. Means we have three ways, right? So because as I'm working on the virtual environment now, so I cannot put any CD or DVD, right? With a kind of physical media, right? So ISO is a virtual media, means virtual drive that we have allocated to that particular machine, and now it's booting with the that particular ISO file. So ISO file is nothing. It is just a virtual format of physical drives like USB drive or pen drive, in which a Windows server or any other operating system data is stored, and we are booting that server from that thing only.
Okay.
Anything else? Anyone?
And you have created the domain controller. Is that like a server or?
It's server only. When we are
Uh,
working as a Citrix administrator now, we are working on servers only, right? Why? Because we are the backend guys, like we are the technical guys. We are managing the entire infra, like the entire domain.
okay.
Now, look, for end users, things are very, very simpler, right? They just have to log into their PDI or virtual machine and they can work. But for us, we have to be there into some kind of complicated infra. Like I will let you know step by step only. So this is a basic step. This is a first step, right? That's I'm covering right now. Okay. And in
Okay.
the meantime, it's a request from my side, like for next 10 to 15 days, please do not Google anything for Citrix or whatever that like servers, what are the server, how, Citrix or how it works. I will let you know each and everything in step by step. Please do not use your mind, right? And just follow me and I will cover each and everything. Why? Because when you search on Google now, you will get thousands of results, right? So, and right now you are not into that state, like you can verify which answer is correct, right? So, whatever I'm explaining for next 10 to 15 days, please be there with me only. I will cover each and everything, okay?
Okay.
So, I think this is almost done. And now it's rebooting the machine. So, let's wait. Okay, so as you can see, our machine is started, right? And now it will ask to set up a password for that particular server. Okay, so as you can see now, it is asking to set up a password for administrator, right? So administrator is a built-in user account in every Microsoft Windows editions, right? So let's enter some password. It's totally up to you. You can enter any password. I've entered one and just click on finish. So our server is ready, right? Let me enter the credentials. Now, am I audible, guys? Hello.
Yes, Mike.
Yes, you are.
Okay. So from VMware only, we are having one very good tool like kind of software. With the help of that software, we can adjust the resolution of this machine, right? As you can see, right now it's coming in a kind of half screen only for me, right? So you for the same, you just have to do right click and just click on install VMware tools. And after that, just go to this PC and here is the tools. Just install that tool. Just click on next. It's a simple installation. Click next, and that's it. And within a minute, you will get a better screen, right? So let's wait for it. Okay, how many of you are having laptops with you, like so that you can follow me in with your like personal space? Anyone have?
Yes, we have.
Okay, so whatever I'm doing right now, on my screen, I will share recording with you, right? After the call only. And what you have to do in your free time, just follow, just try to follow whatever I'm doing now. Just follow that video and just try to execute the same in your personal stuff like laptop or desktop, whatever you are have. Do you have, right? So as you can see, now screen is better and resolution is now fit to the window. So now finish it and it is asking to restart the server, right? So right now I do not want to reboot that machine. I'm clicking on no. Before that, okay, so this is in every server you will get one server manager. Okay, so here is a server manager. Just open that server manager, and with that console you can manage the servers. If you want to modify any server, you can do the activities. So I do not want that pop up again and again. Okay. So now what I have to do, I have to rename this machine, right? So just click on local server, and in the local server, as you can see now, the computer name is some random name, right? Why? Because it is automatically created. So now what I have to do, I have to click on that computer name, just click on change and name it like domain controller. Not domain controller, it will be a little bit long. Just name it DC-01. Why 01? Because I have already created one DC na, so I do not want any conflict with the host names, right? So I have mentioned this as DC01, like domain controller 01. Okay, just click OK, and now your computer name is changed to DC1, and it will ask you to restart your computer. So now we can reboot it. Guys, I hope this is not that much complicated for you guys. Means you guys are getting what I'm doing on screen, right? Guys,
Yes.
okay. If you got any confusion now, you can ask at any point. Okay. So our machine is rebooted. Now let me log in here with the administrator. So far what I did, I just installed the operating system. This machine is not configured as a domain controller so far, right? I just installed one operating system like it is uh, like you are having your personal laptop or desktop with you, right? So in your personal laptops, you are having Windows 10 or Windows 11 or Windows 7, whatever the operating system, right? So what I did, I just install the operating system only, and I rename the computer to domain controller, right? But so far it is not configured as a domain controller. Why? Because I just changed the computer name only, right? I have not performed any operations. Okay. So now what we have to do, we have to promote this server as a domain controller, right? So do you guys wants me to continue, or is it enough for you guys for today? If you are having means if you are having any confusion, you can ask, right? We can continue, means if it is a little bulky for you guys so far, so we can continue after a break, or maybe after at 2 o'clock if you need some space. I'm okay because I'm available. If you need any break, just let me know, otherwise I can continue. Guys, yes, no, say anything.
You can continue, I think so.
Okay, thank you. So now, to promote this particular machine as a domain controller, what you have to do, you have to go to the tools here. Sorry, not tools. You have to go to the manage, and you have to click on add roles and features. Okay, let me maximize this. Click on next. So we are going to add a role to that particular server. So select the first option. Next, this is our server. Okay, but before that, our server is getting this IP from the DHCP server. Okay, so it is completely fine, but it is always a good practice to keep your IP address static for servers only, right? So let me open the network adapter of this machine. So I'm just typing the command to open the network adapter, or if you want to open it now, you have multiple ways to open it. So with that, it is automatically there. Otherwise, if you want to open it with GUI, so You can type like network, as you can see, control panel, and you can select smaller icons and you will get something like network and sharing center. From here, you can select the change adapter settings and you will get the same window, right? So just open it, and right now it is getting IP like 20.149. So let me put some static IP over here, right? So cross verify this once again. This is the IP, this is the gateway. Okay. So let me enter the static IP. It is 192.168.20.100. Let's make it 100. This is the subnet mask. Gateway will be 192.168.20.2. And DNS server we have not configured it, so we will configure DNS server later on. For now, this is completely fine. So just click on OK. Again OK, and close it. So now this machine is configured to static. Okay, so before that, anyone have any idea like what is static and what is dynamic IP address? Anyone? Guys, yes, no, anything? कुछ तो बोलो, like if you understand Hindi, right?
No, we don't know.
Okay, so let me explain this, right? So in the dynamic now, like if I'm talking about the dynamic, IP address is nothing. IP address is just a address for that particular server. Means if you are staying at your home now, you are having some address like XYZ, like house number or building number, whatever it is, right? In a same way, for servers or for virtual machine, we are having IP address. Okay, if I need to reach any server, what I have to do? I have to go through that IP address only, right? So in IP address, we are having two categories like dynamic IP and static IP. So in dynamic IP, what happens? Like after every reboot, means whenever our server reboot, na, that IP address changed automatically from the DHCP scope. But in static one, na, IP address will be same, remain same. So just suppose if you are accessing facebook.com, right? And they guys using or google.com, whatever the website, they guys are using the static IP only. Why? Because whenever you are accessing that particular site, na, you will get the same IP address. If they use dynamic IP address, in that case, what will happen? After every reboot, the IP address will get changed, right? So that's we never want for servers. Why? Because okay, before that, what is server? Anyone have any idea what is server, guys? Hello, anyone?
No mind.
Okay, so server is nothing. You can consider server as a chef in the like restaurant or in the hotel. Means server is something which is serving you, right? Means it could be serving a web page or any storage, whatever it is, right? So in our case, our server will serve the user accounts, right? So it is serving a service. Okay, service may be different. We have multiple service. We have FTP, we have TFTP, we have a file server, we have multiple kind of servers over there, right? So if someone asks you what is server, server is nothing. Server is means we can configure any particular machine as a server who is serving a particular service. Okay, so server is just servicing the services. That's it, to end users. Okay, or to the client. So I have changed the IP address. Now Let me cancel this. Why? Because old IP address is still reflecting. So I'm just refreshing this machine. Why? Because I changed the IP address, right? So now again go to the manage, add roles and features, click on next, again next. Now from here, what I have to do, I have to select a role like I'm going to configure this server as a domain controller only, right? So I have to select Active Directory and domain services. Click on add feature. So now I have configured this particular server as a domain controller only, right? In the short name, you can also means uh, like it is also known as ADDS, like Active Directory and Domain Services. So I'm going to configure this particular role for that server. Simply click on next. In the features, nothing is required. Simply click on next. Again next. And just check that box, like if restart required, it will automatically reboot the server. Click yes and click on install. So after that, what it will do, it will configure the server as a domain controller. Then after, we are good to create new users in that particular server, or we are good to create new computers in that particular server. Okay. So it will take a while. In the meantime, as you can see, we are only having 2 minutes left in this call. So I'm going to terminate this call right away and I will be sharing new invite to you guys. Okay.
Okay, Mesh.
Okay. Thank you guys.